Are you tired of watching shows that only give you general social media theory and expect you to figure out how to apply it to your own industry? Join us for this week's episode of Social Chatter, the industry's longest-running social media marketing news talk show. Not only will you learn the latest breaking news, but you'll also gain practical advice on how to apply it. Now here's your host, Christian Karasiewicz.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 199 of Social Chatter, your weekly social media marketing news talk show. This is episode 199, and I'm excited about that. I mean, we're almost at episode 200. This has been quite a journey, I have to say. I'm going to pop on and say a quick hello. Hey, guys, how you doing this week? We have a lot of topics to talk to you about this week in social media. We've got topics from Facebook. We've got some Instagram updates. And I don't know if you know this, but Twitter is actually down. And so I'm excited about this show. I'm going to go ahead and bring on my co-host, Phil. Phil, how are you doing this week?
Dude, I'm great, man. I'm coming to you live and in person from Cincinnati, Ohio. What a beautiful city this is. Christian, I had no idea they had so much good food here.
I bet the food is amazing there.
Oh, my gosh.
I've never been there myself.
Oh my gosh, so good, man. The people are incredible, dude. The people here, I'm staying at the Hilton Garden Inn on Dana Avenue. My gosh, dude, they gave me a free bottle of Prosecco and a nice garnish tray of fruits and all sorts of good stuff. And I got to tell you, what a great place. I can't wait to come back.
Fantastic. So, by the way, for those of you watching, whether you're watching on our Facebook page, facebook.com/social chefs, or youtube.com/social chefs. You know, if you have questions and whatnot during the show, please leave them in the comments. You know, we'll do our best to feature them during the show as well. But do you want to go ahead and tell viewers about this week's guest? And I know we've had him on, a couple of times, I think?
Oh, my gosh. No, so Troy is not just a guest, though. If you don't know Troy Sandage, this guy's social media marketing butter. He is so smart. He's got so much good stuff to share. He's hosted the show when I've been out. He's been a guest. He's been with me on Mobile Chat Live. He's done all sorts of stuff. The guy's freaking brilliant. He's from Illinois. Really smart, really nice guy. Got a big heart and a smile to match, and we're excited this year. Mr. Sandage, how are you? Fine, Troy.
What's up, world? Digital world? I'm here. Let's get it. Oh, woo, man. Woo. I hate it. I thought I was going to be on 200.
Sorry, brother.
Like that much.
You're so close, but you know what? You'll be in our hearts on episode 200,
okay.
Troy. You should know that.
I'll accept it.
You know that's true.
So how's everything going, Troy? Everything going great for you?
Going good. Phil, I don't know how you do this whole speaking tour thing. I went from Lima to Toronto and did 2 speaking engagements a week. I am drained to the max. All good, but I don't know how you guys do it.
Oh, man. So it's practice. And I'll tell you what, Prosecco doesn't hurt.
Hey.
I'm just going to say, Troy, I know you don't drink, but for me, right, so the key is I find a friend in every city to help re-energize me, and then I sit up straight, I take a deep breath, and I just thank God that I got another day ahead of me, brother. Amen. That's all it is.
And by the way, you're doing live video. I mean, for example, we're doing this as a group here, for example. So it's the 3 of us, we have good camaraderie and whatnot. Yep. So I think that partly, kind of generates some competition there, good competition. It makes you also have to or want to keep up, which is the best part. So for those of you who are struggling with live video, live video is one of those things that you just practice at. Just remember your audience is not necessarily, you can't see them, but just imagine, hey, I've got this room full of people. So, just do it. Have fun and enjoy what you do and own what you do. Actually, that's what I would say. So,
well, it's kind of like my imaginary friends. So I get some cardboard cutouts here. Every time I travel with 3 to 5 of them because, I don't have any friends. So that really helps me a lot when I'm traveling. So I feel better.
Very good. Very good. So episode 199. What are we talking about today, by the way? Where do you want to start?
Well, let's start with Twitter, man. Let's start with Twitter. Troy, did you break Twitter or was it President Trump? I just got to know, man.
If I broke Twitter, they need to verify my account if I was able to do that. They need to verify my account.
You got 97 followers, Troy. You got to do better than that, man. I'm just saying.
I know, right?
No. So, but
metrics. It's all about community. But
so
I found out it was down because I'm just scrolling my phone by Facebook. Someone had tagged me, hey, Troy, is your Twitter down because I can't post anything? I'm like, get out of here. Twitter's old reliable. It never goes down. I made a tweet about it. When YouTube goes down, I go to tweet about it. Facebook goes down, I tweet about it. LinkedIn goes down, I tweet about it. Twitter's down. I didn't know what to do. I'm sitting here like, Facebook is not gonna give me that reach or that impact like I want to. LinkedIn was kind of dry. You never get that feel. Instagram, I just thought maybe, but you're not getting that interaction. So I was kind of just like all the memes of people just walking out in the park doing nothing. That was me for like 35 minutes. I didn't know what to do with my life. I was like, this is some Django stuff right here. But there's conspiracies out there about why Twitter was down.
Oh, it's Megan Rapinoe, isn't it? Megan Rapinoe, Donald Trump. Were they dating? Is that what the truth is? Is that what happened there? No? I don't know. Christian, what do you think?
Tweeted out a good one. He had said Google, Gmail, Snapchat were down a few weeks ago. Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp were down last week. LinkedIn was down yesterday, and now Twitter's today. Maybe the internet world is trying to tell people something. And I feel it's don't count on any social media platform. It's important to have your own real estate, your own service. When you're renting, hey, the landlord can just say, you're done. Get out. I don't care.
Exactly.
When you own it, you're good. You're straight. Now, outside of Cloudflare doing something weird and shutting half the internet down, outside of that you own that space. So really, it's important to create your website, a landing page. It doesn't take much. You can do it about me and put your articles, your blogs, whatever, in a central hub for yourself as well, just to keep your community, your audience at bay in case stuff like this happens.
Yep, totally agree, right? That's a great lesson for business. Remember that you might have Cloudflare, you might have AWS, you might have G Suite, you might have a lot of places, but they depend on a single point of failure. So you need to make sure that you're backed up, you're ready to rock, you're ready to roll, and not depending on any other service but yourself. Now, that being said, unless you completely self-host your website, unless you completely self-host your email, you're still at risk. So, Christian, what about us, man? How do we do that with Social Chefs?
Again, though, I mean, it's the same thing. Like you have to remember this, and most people aren't going to know, like, oh, who's hosting my, who's hosting my website, for example. Oh, am I using Amazon Web Services? Chances are, all these companies all use the same services, and if something starts to go down, it typically goes down for others. I think the key thing to take away here is that when things go down, use that as an opportunity, as a springboard to, like, maybe it gives you more time, for instance, to get back to a project you weren't able to finish. A lot of people, they have this whole, thing where, like, they have to be glued to their mobile phone. They have to be just constantly, checking things. And I think this does give you an opportunity, a small opportunity to take a little bit of a break, whether it's a mental break or, just a break from, doing just some tasks that are keeping you from getting to your main goals. But to me, I think that, that's the key thing I think to take away.
Yeah, I agree, right? The importance of breaks, right? We've got to sharpen the saw. So if you're a small business owner, you're thinking, what do I do? Well, first of all, don't look for the fail whale. Just take a break. Take a step back. Take this as an opportunity. And also, I would also tell you, don't rely on scheduling all your posts. This is a perfect example of where real time makes a real difference. So if you rely on scheduling stuff, right, you have to change that up. You got to change that up. So I think that's really important. The other thing that I'd say, Troy, love what you said, man. Pick a different channel. Pick a different channel, right? So Twitter's down, no sweat. Let's go to Instagram. Let's go to Snapchat. Let's go somewhere else. Or better yet, let's refocus on actually serving those customers we already have and sending them better emails or communicating with them. I can tell you today, I sent out my email newsletter for my stuff. Guess what? 5 responses. Fantastic, right? I mean, 5 responses. I can handle 5 responses. I don't want 5 million responses. I want 5. 5's great. I can hang with that. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
I'll add to this. I think I want to piggyback off everyone else's points as well. You're putting my scheduling post. Hey, if you think things are down, go to your editor and pause everything. That means you're wasting your content. And most people don't save a backup of their content. If you schedule content natively within Twitter Deck or Facebook natively for your Facebook business page, and it's down, it could be lost. You should have a second place to store that information. Even if you're using a Hootsuite, Buffer, AgriPulse, wherever that might be, you should have your stuff set at a second place. And then make sure if it's down, pause it. You don't want to waste the time and effort you put in for yourself or your team to build that social media content. Just wait it out and see what happens. Number 2, again, this is also the importance of community, important of having strong email isn't dead. Sure, we don't like to be spammed, but if you have an email list, and guess what? If you are an agency or you're as a small business, you have clients, and this channels down that you get most of your community from, hey, if you send an email saying, hey, did you know this is down? You can still communicate here. That extra step solves 2 problems. Number 1, you're showing you're currently in the know what's going on for your industry or your company or whatever it might be for your community. 2, you're bringing extra value that they may have not have known directly to them through a specific channel, being email, that they may be appreciative and then be either a longevity of your customer or whatever, or may be the turning point to pick you for something. So keep that in mind as well.
Good
Definitely.
stuff.
By the way, I'd also say a couple of other things you can do. So you can always keep a spreadsheet, for example, of your messages you're going to send out, even though you're not necessarily going to like go back to this well and whatnot. But having a spreadsheet is a great way to know what you send out. You can use tools like ifttt.com as well to back up, for instance, some of your tweets and conversations automatically to Google Drive. So this way you at least have a backup in the off chance you do need it. But I think that's a great point, Troy.
I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
So what would you suggest as a business or a social media person when this does happen? Let's say you're in the middle of a Twitter chat, you're trying to post for an event and it goes down. What do you do?
Well, you can't do anything at the time. I would tell you at the beginning of it, though, you should always have a secondary channel that perhaps you announce, right? So that's the first thing. So if I'm doing a Twitter chat, perhaps then the next thing that I share is, hey, also check out my Facebook page where in case it goes down, right? So this is where like Christian and I do, right? We've got video that we do on Facebook Live, but let's say this goes down, right? Let's say StreamYard takes a poop, right? We've got Zoom as a backup. If Zoom doesn't work, we've got Be Live as a backup. If Be Live doesn't work, we can go to Facebook Live, right? So we can cross-platform. If Facebook goes down, well, then we can do Zoom and we can record it. And then when it comes back up, we can share it. So it's important to backup. But backup is important at the beginning, not just in time, right? That's the big thing. And let people know, hey, so here's what we're doing, right? So here's 3 ways to get us. We're on YouTube Live, we're on Facebook Live, and we're somewhere else. I don't know. Christian, what am I missing there, brother?
We have, again, we have a blog post recap. We also have an Alexa flash briefing. We're working on the podcast as well. So we've got lots of different places for people to be able to get the content. And as you mentioned, I mean, we can also take it offline as well if we need to do a recording through, like, say, Ecamm or Zoom and whatnot. So that way we do have a backup in the off chance that something does and Be Live and whatnot as things go down. So. Oh,
come on. Nothing ever goes down, Christian. We've never had to do that.
Right. Exactly. There's always technical glitches. I mean, I think Barb's mentioning, she's saying, hey, Facebook had issues with live broadcasts and groups again today, for example. So it always pays to have a backup and an alternative for message delivery. And that's 100% agree with that. So
Troy, what do you do? What do you do?
When it goes down?
Yeah, what do you do, man? How do you make sure your clients?
Man, I'm a workaholic. So when it went down, I was like, Lord Jesus, I got a break. Man, I don't know what to do with myself. Well, really, like Christian said, I did go to try to do something else. Just still keeping myself updated on what's going on. To the mention about going to Facebook groups, hey, what's going on? But outside of that, I took a step back, breathed, and I was like, okay, what else can I do with my time on a different platform? And I had the most amazing I've never been on an Instagram chat conversation in the DMs before, like we were, but it's something I never did before, all because, Twitter went down. So it's all about diversifying and just finding something else to do. That's all.
There you go. Different way to connect with your customers, right?
I have this final thing, though, and we can move on. It was really fun. I don't know if your accounts did the same thing with mine. A lot of people complaining that they lost all their views when Twitter's down and that their followers was at -1. And for a brief moment, I thought, man, all those fakers, those fake influencers are giving us a bad name, who just buy a ton of followers and just think they're going to get sponsors and just snap their fingers and make millions of dollars and it won't work. What happens when we're set down to 0? That's what we've been saying about all this time about building a community. Those people who would think about us are going to naturally follow us again. We don't have to do too much for it. And we can build that community right back. For those who just leaned on vanity metrics and people who just followed you and didn't nurture those people, if they're back at 0, they're done. They're out. And it made me really think about how business really needs to take care of nurturing their community. That if they went down to 0, could you still survive and build that community back up?
Ooh, that's a good question. So, hey, folks, so if you're watching, if you're listening, if you're sitting home and you're thinking, what the heck, hey? So let us know. What do you think? If you went down to 0, would your community follow you? Would they look for you? Would they find you? Or would they just go away and would you be stuck at 0? So I know they'd find Troy, right? And they'd want to eat some social chefs, but I don't know about me, man. They probably wouldn't find me because I'm pretty shy. So I'm
Oh,
thinking
Phil,
that's
come
really
on, man. They love you. The people love you.
Well, that's those 7 people. I appreciate that, Troy. But besides you and my mom, maybe not necessarily in that order, right? I think people maybe they do, right? But maybe they don't. And I mean that sincerely. I'm not really trying to be self-deprecating. I'm just saying, right? So people find us for different things. Right. I can tell you, I look at my Instagram stories very different than the people who are on Instagram who interact with my photos. Very, very interesting. So I think we need to be aware of that, and we need to then make sure we nurture that and remind people that we're in multiple places, right? Remind people that we're other places, because that is often missed.
Mm-hmm.
No, definitely. And, and keep in mind also, by the way, this kind of plays into the social media channels that people have for their business. So, for example, you want to make sure, if you can, that all of your social media channels are easy to find. For example, ours are all at Social Chefs. For example, Troy, I think yours are at Find Troy, I think, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. So keep that in mind. I mean, that's an easy way, because it's not like, oh, I have to go to people and say, well, hey, I'm on this channel, and this on this one channel, and on Facebook I'm this, and Instagram I'm this. They just need one easy way to know where they need to get in touch with you.
So, be consistent whenever you can, and if you can't, be obvious.
Brand identity.
Yep, absolutely. Because sometimes it's too late, right? So be obvious when you can, and get over it when you can.
Exactly.
Cool.
So we know that Twitter has been down. It looks like it's back up, I think.
Yep.
Oh, did you love what Twitter said? Oh my goodness. They just said 2 words. Did you miss us? And I retweeted that, and I was like, I don't know if this was a very smart tactic, very genius, or just kind of hidden, because on one end I'm like, well, I guess this is better than just saying, someone accidentally hit a button and just shut down the whole thing during somebody's speech or whatever is going on. But at the same time, I wanted more information. Did you feel that was a clever response to saying miss us and that's it?
Well, I think, I think they're trying something different. Mm-hmm. And I applaud them for that. To your point, do I want more information? Maybe. But to be honest, Troy, I just want the damn thing to work.
Very true.
I mean, really, right? I don't care, man. Just let me know, right? We're down, we're up. I don't care.
Like your car. Mechanic says, hey, I need to fix this. Just do it. I need to get back on the road.
Fix my shit, right? That's real easy. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. Christian, you want more?
I think that, here's the thing. I'd rather have things just, own up to what the mistake was, get the site back up. So I think that's definitely, in my opinion, that's the best thing to do, I think. So
Cool.
So where do you guys want to go from here, by the way? We want to keep talking on Twitter? We want to move on to something else?
Why the Facebook, Instagram wagon? Let's do it.
So let's go to Instagram. Let's talk about the bullying and the helping. I think that's an important one that we cover, and then let's move over to Facebook here. So here's the thing, right? Online bullying is a real thing. Instagram allows users as young as 13 years old to use the service, which provides some challenges, right? At 13 years old, often we're not as developed. We don't understand how to impact bullying, and often we feed that fire whether we wanted to or not.
Right.
So the fact that they're going to commit to fight against online bullying, here's the thing, right? Disabling an account because Christian told on me, and telling Troy that, Christian told on me, just makes the bullying worse. Instead, kind of a silent blocking is what Instagram's talking about here, which actually I think is freaking brilliant when it's used correctly. But if I just say, hey, Troy's picking on me, and then Instagram blocks me, now we're looking at censorship. Yeah. So as a business, I'm not sure. But as someone who has a 12-year-old niece who I know gets bullied, and I want to beat the hell out of those people that bully my niece, well, I think this is nice. I don't know. Troy, what you got?
So I spoke on this on Monday quite extensively. I actually got wind of it through LinkedIn, which was trending on there. So I shared some posts and talked to the top posts from there. Some people brought up some good points. To your point, some people thought it was an invasion of censorship. Other people thought it was an invasion against privacy. Other people thought this was a great idea. What's funny, I feel like the platform that probably needs this most right now would be Twitter versus Instagram or TikTok, depending on the age gap and everything like that. That's another story for another day. I think that's a good idea. I do think, though, it may lead to other problems down the road. I feel like it's a Band-Aid fix. I don't feel like it fixes the problem.
Interesting. Christian, what do you think, man?
I think this is a good move in a way, but I also don't like the fact that, like you mentioned at the beginning, it seems like it's just very easy for somebody who might not understand bullying or harmful comments and whatnot to report things that don't necessarily need to be reported to Instagram. Like I said, like with this process, I mean, it's a multi-step process. They're using artificial intelligence. So I'm glad they're using artificial intelligence or AI, but to notify people when their comments may be considered offensive. But I like that, to me, that's not a great solution yet, because I don't think AI is 100% there yet. But I do like the fact that they're trying to kind of take a stance on this overall.
But still, I mean, hold on. So is this a stance, or is this just a way to do it cheap and easy so that people cannot say, well, they're not doing anything? I mean, that's my concern, right? What I hate to say this, but what I really want to see is a person staffing this, and a person that says, you know what, Troy reported Phil, therefore Christian needs to look at this. That's what I really want to see, right? I want to see a human being do this. Now, the problem is, and I get it, it doesn't scale. It's a free service. But come on. Like they make billions of dollars off our data. The least they can do is give us 2 or 3 real people that we can talk to, Sally and Juno, that are going to, look at our stuff and not make us feel stupid.
And maybe this is phase 1. And maybe they will have some staff, for example, to help with this. I would think they would.
No,
because
they're just checking the box, dude. I think they're really just checking the box here to say that they're doing something, when in reality they're not going to do anything about this. They don't really care. They just want to make it look like, I mean, just like with the data, man. They didn't stop the data outflow. They got hacked 6 more times. Come on, man. They don't really give a crap about us.
So do you feel this is more of a smoke and mirrors tactic?
I absolutely don't.
Really?
Yep.
Because here's my other thing, guys. So what if you're someone who's, think of Gary Vee, for example. His steal is kind of just swear words every 2 seconds.
Yep.
Which is perfectly fine because it's his niche and people love it for it. But what if that, for someone else, tries to do something like that? It's all in good fun, or we add sarcasm into the mix, and then it gets censored, and then it doesn't post, and it gets reported, and then your account gets suspended.
Yep.
And you're sitting here like, what happened? I'm known for this. What I do for a living.
That's
I didn't talk about anybody. Here I am dealing with this, and now here we are. And it's AI, so it's not like you have a human person to interpret the context of how it was said.
That's absolutely right. And that's the challenge, right? And do verified accounts, do they ever get censored? I've never seen them. Look at Milo, right? Milo Jovanovic, or whatever his name is, right? Until they took him down, they never censored him at all. Is that the right way to do it? I don't know. But I can tell you, again, AI is not the right answer. AI is a first answer. It's not the only answer.
And you brought up a good point. Instagram is free. So we complain about a lot of different things, but I'm like, we're not paying a subscription to use the platform.
Right. Exactly.
So that does, out of sight, out of mind, we got to recognize, hey, we're getting a lot for free.
But they're making millions of dollars off of free, Troy.
Oh, for sure.
They're making millions of dollars off of free. So tell me, Troy, if I'm going to pay you $1 billion for free, are you going to police me? I think you should. If I'm in your house and I'm making $1 billion, you should probably protect that investment, don't you think?
Oh, they should. But
Facebook's not.
And again, that they don't. That they only do what's in the best interest. No shade to Instagram or Facebook, most staff, but let's be honest, the numbers doesn't lie that they give credit to the investor and everything else. But on the flip side, with Facebook trying to change it, we're all about community now, not allowing the ads, people of the world to reach you in your homes every moment of the day. When you cough and sneeze, the word that you like, how do you find it? Retargeting, by the way, it's still an issue. And I don't know if it's going to be fixed this way. And I don't know if this is the best solution. It is a step in the right direction, but I feel like there's a lot of flaws and holes with it.
Yep, totally agree. Totally agree.
And by the way, so I got a screenshot pulled up here. This is from the Instagram press release here. But basically, what we have is, as you can see, we've got 4 screens. We've got the first one where it's person is writing something that is considered harmful. Second one is then show 2 screens. And second one is showing hey this is content that Instagram is potentially going to flag. They might they're encouraging the person to rethink. Obviously, the fact that the person would be writing something like that, I don't necessarily think they're going to rethink that per se. They kind of know what they want to say on a comment. So that is something though that is part of this. And then also what they're doing is they're doing the restrict option. So the Instagram restrict option is basically this, and basically what people are going to see is they're going to see the fact that somebody can then go in and report a comment or restrict a user. And when you do that, obviously the person can't see when you're online. So they're taking also then off objects off of like the platform to let you be able to then basically track the person to know where they're at and do the things they're doing and whatnot. So
now I can stalk you using Instagram. That's fantastic.
That's they're removing the feature. Actually, no, they're removing you won't be able to see when somebody's online.
Okay.
So, for example, once somebody's been blocked, or when someone comments on your post from that person, they'll only be visible to that person. Basically, your comments will get put into an echo chamber if they are. Yeah.
Oh.
And then the individual can choose to then make the restricted person's comments visible to others. By approving their comments. So, I mean, the bottom line is this almost just gets down to this. It really just gets down to there just needs to be comment moderation available so that, no comments. For instance, maybe if it's almost like, almost say like there's like, level like 1, level 2, level 3. Level 1, ideally could be, hey, I'm new. I don't have a lot of followers and I get a lot of comments. Hey, I actually want the interaction. And then as I kind of build to that second level, maybe I want to consider having to approve all of my comments because there could be hateful comments or just words and whatnot that are included. But that also then just kind of gets onto the point of how much, well, if somebody doesn't like the comments, they just can choose to restrict the comments so everything looks positive, even though it's actually negative. For example, I could think of actually quite a few people that might be using this feature, Phil. I don't know. Overall, I mean, I think it's a decent step. I mean, it's not like a huge thing. I mean, I think for a business, again, I mean, if this doesn't say if it applies to a business profile, but I think like from that perspective, it does mean that if I'm a business, I may want to actually go in and moderate some of those comments, depending on what kind of comments I receive. So
here's a thought, and
yeah,
stay with me for a minute. What if this is used reverse engineered style to still bully somebody? You get what I'm saying? Like, what if a whole group of people just like reporting things because they're like, oh, I don't like to see your face or hear what you have to say. And then lo and behold, they're the ones who get flagged. And the whole group that they're trying to reach is totally blocking them because of a certain group of individuals. Now, that's like a 1 in a million case as far as I'm concerned. I'm not giving anyone ideas. But I do think about these things. It could work both ways and still be flawed in a sense, too. But I'm hoping for the best.
Totally agree.
Yeah, hopefully. By the way, for those of you watching this week's show, thanks a lot for staying up with us. I know we changed the time a little bit this week, but thanks a lot for joining us. And I realize it's a little bit late for some people. So we got some, we got Twitter news, we got Instagram news. What else do we have that we want to discuss this week, Phil?
Well, we got a lot of stuff we want to discuss, but what I want people to know is that we got a lot of stuff we can't discuss this week. A lot of stuff we don't have time to. And if you want to make sure that you catch up with all the news, make sure you sign up for our newsletter. Socialchefs.com/daily gets you all the good stuff. Again, that's socialchefs.com/daily. This goes out every single day. The latest news, the latest tools, and the latest good stuff. If you're wondering where that is, again, it's socialchefs.com/daily. So, Christian, let's go to Facebook, right? The fact that Facebook. What's that, Troy?
The mothership.
That's it, right? That's it. So let's go to Facebook. Let's talk about all the crazy stuff Facebook is doing to us, including the fact that Facebook's going to take a cut of fan subscriptions. So like we talked about, episode like 179 or something, Christian?
Yeah,
this is
quite
hilarious,
a while back, actually,
man. Yeah, this is hilarious. So we knew that Facebook was going to let us start charging for groups. But now, guess what? Facebook wants some of your money starting on January 1st. So it makes sense, right? I mean, if Facebook's going to let you monetize, well, then they're going to take your cash. So with this 30%, my prediction, we're going to see people moving off of Facebook and onto Patreon, Mighty Networks, or OnlyFans. That's what I think. I don't know. Troy, what do you think?
Well, I don't know. It's a brand-wise, Patreon and OnlyFans, there's a lot of adult connotation with those names. Even though there's a lot of wholesome people who are doing a lot of wholesome things on there as well, Facebook has that kind of income beauty where you're like, okay, I can go here and get my thing. But we've been on Facebook for God knows how long, and you hear all the time, you would have to pay for Facebook, you have to pay for Facebook. Well, now if you want to enjoy a creator's content who is trying to make money, okay, you have to pay a little money to do that. I think it's a good idea, but I still think Facebook's a little late to the game. YouTube created this thing and made it more apparent early on. Facebook is late to it, and I'm like, they're going to get all these hits and flaws and issues. And they're still making 70% outside of taxes and fees and deducting all that stuff, which is still good. You're still making money, and any other platform, you'd have to take a cut anyway. So it shouldn't be a big deal, but it's still going to be a big deal because people are going to complain about it, and it's still kind of fresh and new. I do like it. I do like the fact that if I read the article correctly, and multiple articles after that, the group component to it, as Bella Vasta would say, Facebook groups are the future. So having that community and kind of having kind of a paid subscription to get in there and enjoy the creator. A lot of people are doing the mastermind groups already, so it's kind of like already in the game and the system. So I think that's smart. $4.99, if they jump it up to $9.99, if the creator or that influencer or that person has enough value. Okay, we are conditioned. This is the era of subscriptions, you people, everyone. So
sadly, yes.
I mean, take my $9.99, my $4.99, and by the end of the month, I have no paycheck because I gave all my money away on subscriptions. But I digress. We're used to this. Everyone's going to adjust and adapt, and it's going to be perfectly fine. But I'm just concerned that, if people are doing so many for other social media platforms, are they going to be burnt down and not commit that money for that creator on Facebook?
Yeah, I mean that is a tough part. I mean, the subscription prices, everything is subscription. It's $4.99, $9.99, as you mentioned. It gets into the point where like, oh, if I could pay $5 for somebody's Facebook group, why am I going to pay $49.99 or whatever that some people charge per month for access to virtually the same thing? But I mean, I think overall this is a great option from a monetization perspective. Again, something that's been going on since like 2018. They've been testing this with a select group, but it is good to see they are finally going to start to roll this out to more people through the Facebook Stars program. But what do you I think the fact that they're taking 30%, I mean, hey, why not? Why shouldn't they get that percentage? For example, most of their revenue is currently generated by ads as well. So in a way, like I think they mentioned this a couple of quarters back on their earnings call, they were going to start to diversify away from ads because hey, when your revenue is all 90-something%, you do have to find alternative sources. And by the way, Phil, that also gets to the conversation you and I were discussing offline about some influencer mentioned, oh, Facebook's going to be getting rid of ads. They're going to get rid of being able to target your fans on your page or something to that effect. So
no, again, at this point, right, this is why Facebook is doing what they're doing with groups. Because if you think about it, the mechanism is businesses invest in advertising. Troy doesn't, Christian doesn't, Troy's business does, Christian's business does. Let's be clear, right? That's the whole thing. It's got to be, it's got to be through a business. It's not just Joe Jabroni who's running a page. And I really think what they're going to do is they're going to do away with people managing pages altogether. Or groups, with groups altogether, right? Because it's hosted by someone. It's hosted by a business. Come on now. Why are we having this conversation? It's because of what we're doing as a business, not just as people.
I'll add to really connect to the business. I think this is an amazing opportunity for businesses that are specifically B2C. I think of bands. So if you have a Facebook business page and Instagram, I'm assuming those are linked. Guess what? You forward them over to your creator. Here, they're already, if they have Instagram, they're all probably have a Facebook page. Come in there, a Facebook account rather. I'm sorry. Come in and $4.99, whatever, it boost up to $10.99 or $9.99, whatever the price may be. You get people locked in. You can get people for early release dates for your CDs or your albums, whatever it may be, if your product launches, if you're a small business store, or if you're, I think in Lima, a lot of donut shops there. You have a community. Hey, we are launching, XYZ. It could be a really good funnel for that. And simply because maybe LinkedIn groups are kind of dying down, or because their audience, people check Facebook like 20 times a day. They check LinkedIn maybe 5 times a day, depending on the average people are going to pick on Facebook. So I
Yeah.
think it is a good central for B2C businesses. I can see B2B as well, but again, I will lean more towards if you're a coach, or if you're someone to give knowledge and educator type, that might be a good pitch for you too as well, because then people want to know that value and communicate on that level to sell people for your courses, your teaching things, meet and greets for speaking, things like that as well for business.
Cool. I totally agree. I think, or any sort of exclusive content,
Yeah.
I think it's an opportunity for you, right? To up level beyond just selling things.
Right.
It up levels you to support, it up levels you to service. Perhaps it's support for a course, right? Which is what we're seeing people were doing for years, right? If I've got a mastermind, now I let them in the group, and now I really think to get those questions, I think now we're gonna have to have a group anytime we're in a private or a secret group, and we're gonna have to pay for it. No longer will it be free. That's my prediction.
And businesses, this creates a super fan base. This is a nurturing to a very niche
right.
group who have committed money. When they put skin in the game, they're really committed to you as a brand, you as an organization, you as a company. So you need to really take advantage of that. Have the email so they can fill the email before they even get into the group. Not just pay, you want to get that data and nurture that group. These people are like your lifelong fans, your brand lawyers, your brand advocates for you. Don't screw it up.
That's right. Totally agree.
So in addition to that update, obviously, by the way, guys, the subscription piece, also another little update Facebook's doing, I don't know if you guys saw this as well. They're going to be working on different types of Facebook video ads. So, for example, ones that are, and this is actually kind of smart finally, but it's the non-interruptive format as well. So things that aren't going to necessarily interrupt your live broadcast, something to keep in mind also. So I think overall, I think this is a really good update, I think, from Facebook. Again, these subscription charges aren't happening, or the revenue cut, it's not happening until 2020. So it does give you, an opportunity to kind of forecast where you want to go with your business now that you know that, hey, they are going to start to collect some subscription revenue. Phil, where do you want to go next? You want to talk about offline managing Facebook off Facebook activity?
Yeah, I do think that's important, right? I do think as we're talking about this, right? Facebook taking a cut. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, right? So now Facebook is going to stop you in some cases from managing that off Facebook activity. So it used to be once they come to Facebook, you retarget them everywhere they go.
Yeah,
and now they're getting a lot smarter, and they're giving control. And of course, giving people transparency and control is good for business, which is total bullshit. It's total bullshit. I can't believe Facebook would bold-faced lie that way and tell us this is good for business. It is not good for business. Anytime we can lie to advertisers, to customers are happier because it means we're more relevant. Not because they want to be lied to. Let me be really clear. They just want us to be more relevant. I've said this 1,000 times in this show before.
Mm-hmm.
If you give me a relevant Instagram ad, I'm going to buy. If you don't know what's relevant to me, well, I'm not going to buy. Your ads are just a waste of money. So Facebook, what the hell are you thinking? Why are you doing this? I don't know. Troy, thoughts?
Man, if you're a digital marketing specialist, I'm sorry. This impacts a lot of different things. For me personally, this is how a lot of companies make a lot of their revenue, especially if you're B2B and you're trying to sell a product. That's why you go. People work for big corporations. It's all connected the same way. We're all pushing ads. You're just like, I'm tired of seeing ads, but for some company, that's the way to make their money or to hit their Q1 goals or Q4 goals in a time crunch. So it to your point, the ads need to be better. They need to be able to target the audience much more specifically for sure. But this hurts businesses. It flat out does. Now, does this help consumers give that appearance of trust that, hey, we know Facebook isn't listening. It's not listening, guys. It's retargeting. We do it all the time. If you want to have a discussion on that, we can do a whole other discussion on another day. But I think it's an issue. I don't necessarily agree with it because I've been on both sides of the coin. I know how it would impact businesses, but I also see how it would be a sigh of relief to some retrospective to the user. I am concerned how this would impact the point of using Pixel, embedding on your website and other landing pages in cohesion with all of this too. So there's some things I'm curious about for sure.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I think that the fact that they're gonna, like, when somebody disconnects, for instance, from their from Facebook, basically, it doesn't allow themselves to be tracked. I mean, I think you kind of have to continue filling that funnel with the right prospects.
Yeah.
Get people, like, having a stronger relationship with your customers, because if you're like struggling to do that, that's, I think, where the problem is at. It's not the fact that, like, hey, Facebook's removing this feature. You have to find a way around it. It's like, oh, hey, they put a dam up in this river, like, I can't go through. Well, I have to find another way. But doing it in the right way. Like, I have to find another way to reach out to my customers and stay connected with them, I think. So again, I mean, there's a couple of things here. Basically, Facebook wants to provide greater transparency, control, obviously, to kind of give users the satisfaction to know that they have the ability to disconnect themselves from being tracked. And I think, at the same time, like you said, Troy, like, we need better ads. Like, that's 100% true. Like, we need to have better ads from businesses. And a lot of people they run ads because they're reading articles that people are giving them bad examples, for example, and they're thinking, oh, hey, it's, and that's the thing. It's on the internet. It must be true.
Come on. It's not, Christian. Come on, man. You mean I can't just write a bullshit article and put it on my blog and pretend it's true?
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. And that's the thing. Like, people do this all the time. So I think, that's a big issue. You just have to know what you're actually reading to make sure that it's truthful, that it's a reliable source, for example. And the same thing with ads. I mean, the ads are, I think we talk about this a lot all the time. Like, the barrier to entry is so low that you end up having a lot of bad content being created, and the person who suffers is the consumer. But this is kind of been coming, but it's good to see that Facebook's trying to be more transparent. It does mean, hey, as a business, I'm going to have to find some different ways to monetize that business or to reach those people, because they suppose they're going to let you target them. But, I'm all for this moving away. What do you guys think?
No, dumb. I think not good. I don't want to see more transparency. I want to see more relevance. As someone who advertises, I want more relevance. Right. I want to know if my customer, if I'm selling my sales program, I want to know if a customer, then if the next 6 sites are porn or if they went to another sales training site. That's what I want to know, right? I want to know. And I want to be able to put an ad on that porn site that says, hey, by the way, you want to buy this naked chickies or naked dudes, you're going to have to make some money. So buy my sales course, right? I think it only makes it more relevant because there's going to be advertising anyway. Why would you not want more relevant ads? Full stop.
Go ahead, Troy.
I'll say this for business. Life lesson number 1: do ads, in my opinion, in my experience, in Fortune 500, whatever. When you're doing ads, it should really be like 30% of your business revenue. If you're shooting out ads to make your bottom line, and that's not a good model for you. Ads should be reaching the people who've never heard of you to bring you in, using social media, using email to nurture them and keep them constantly by. If you're constantly shooting out ads all the time, people are going to get tired of you. They don't want to see you. They don't want to hear from you no more. So make sure you have a really congruent ad strategy that's not too spammy, that hits the right audience, and that filters for people who have never heard of you, people who are consistently hearing of you, and everything else. And then also diversify your ads. If you're too afraid to learn Google ads because you're so used to social media ads, well, you're going to get outdated and get burned. So learn Google ads, learn Bing ads. I know a lot of people think, well, I know about Google ads, that's it. Well, guess what? If a lot of people aren't using Bing, and the 10% of people who are using Bing, guess what? You're going to own the space. So diversify your ads groups by different platforms all the way through as well.
Definitely. So, where do you want to go, Phil? Do we want to talk about a little Facebook video, a live video streaming?
No. I think we should go to our favorite segment of the show. I think it's dance time, Christian, because we're at 44 minutes, brother. I think it's time to dance.
Let's do it.
So let's move into that. So, Troy, you ready to dance with me? Here we go. Time and again, it's my favorite time of the show. It's tool time. Tool time. Time to dance. Whoop, whoop. Tool time. Tool time. Whoop, whoop. Peanut butter jelly time. It's tool time on the social chatter. Whoop, whoop. Tool time. Everybody dance with us. So what do we got, Christian?
So, by the way, as I go to bring these up, I do want to just mention real quick. I mean, we have a couple of other updates that we didn't get to. You can get those on our daily newsletter at socialchefs.com/daily. Again, I kind of briefly mentioned it a second ago, some Facebook Live video trimming. Basically, you have the ability to make some edits to your Facebook Live videos. But for now, we're going to talk tool time. And tool time basically is where we bring 2 tools each week that we think can help you as a business. And it could be, for instance, with an aspect of your business, but it could also just be, a tool to help you have better conversations or more meaningful conversations with people in different channels. So the first tool this week is called Marco Polo Video Chat. Phil, do you want to talk about this one?
Yeah, for sure. So Marco Polo Video Chat is fun. First of all, anybody that's in your contacts, you can add on Marco Polo. So I can send you a message, totally asynchronous, almost like a walkie-talkie that says, "Hey, Troy, how you doing today? Hope everything is great, man." Or better yet, I can record a couple minutes that sends to you and says, "Hey, Troy, by the way, I was thinking about you today, and here's why I was thinking about you, and here's what you can do." And then you can hit me back in your own time, which I think is super useful, both from a consumer as well as a business perspective. What do you think, Troy?
I think it's amazing. Anybody remember Nextel phones?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
My first fun fact, my first phone was a Nextel i580. And I love the walkie-talkie feature because I'm just me and my dad with the man went, and I'm like, yep. I don't burn any minutes. Back then, you actually had to worry about managing your minutes and text messages and whatnot. I know people don't know how hard it was back then. But I love it. It makes me about that to those times. I think it's smart. I think it's amazing. A lot of my nieces and nephews are using it, so the younger base are definitely eating up right now. Quick and easy. Hey, hon, don't forget this from the grocery store. Beep, 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 and you're done. And you're probably wondering, well, I could do this on Snapchat. I could do this on Instagram. But to your point, Phil, it's asynchronous right in with your contact. You don't have to do anything else too crazy. Right in and you're out. In case people don't have the app or whatever, it works right. And I think, again, Marco Polo, this game is around for as long as I can remember. So to apply it as an app, so to speak, I think it's great.
And it's an iOS and Android-based app, And the other thing also with this, kind of to your points here, you don't have to necessarily be on, if you want to send Facebook Messenger conversations, the person has to be on Facebook. So it does make it I realize there are a lot of different platforms, but a lot of people, they don't necessarily want to be on those platforms. They just want to send a video message. And in order to do that, they're kind of forced to have to be on the platforms. But this is it's a sort of free app. It's a free app. There's a $9.99 Marco Polo supporter option, an in-app purchase, basically, freemium option. But overall, I mean, I like that there's diversity here from an app standpoint. You're not tied into having to be forced to use other networks to communicate with people. The networks that you might not necessarily want to be on. So I think that's a good move.
Yeah, competition is always good, but I also think it could be a good alternative if you're anti-Facebook, for privacy concerns, to just do something different.
So that's tool number 1, by the way, and then tool number 2 is GIFs. GIFs. Yes, I know. So it's GIFs.com, however you want to say it. But basically, what this does is it allows you to search. So one, you can go find your own animated GIFs, which, okay, great. I go use Jiffy or things like that. But you can also drop in some YouTube videos, some Instagram links. They even have Vine reference here as well. And you can quickly create your own GIFs as well. And it also has some really neat features. It's got an AI auto GIF maker. So that actually will take your video and automatically create a GIF for you. It can do highlights. I could actually think of lots of uses right now, for instance, for the show that we could use for this, to drop a link in there, or you can upload a video. So that is a pretty slick little app there.
Yep.
What do you guys think about that, by the way?
Well, I think it's fascinating they're monetizing this. I think that's really interesting to me. But yeah, I think it's got good potential here. Lots of fun stuff you can do. I saw that Jen Herman, our friend Jen's Trends, right? She got some GIFs made, so I bet they were this way. So pretty curious.
Now, the part that I'm the most surprised with, I think, on this, it's like $7.99 a month, I think, to remove like the watermark and things like that. What do you guys think about that? Because to me, that's a little high for a tool, for a tool such as something like this. But what do you think about that part?
You got to make
high,
money
good
somehow.
price.
Supply and demand. I think the versatility, if you're not an expert at converting things to gifts and you want something natively in-house that could do everything, I get the point on that, especially if your time is money. So if I can pay $8 a month to do a whole bunch of gifts and just make it done from previous videos and launch it on schedule on social, and it didn't take me that much time, I'm down for it. But I'll make it up with content and everything else. I do think as someone who created Gift Dance Party, it was going on 3 years, 2.5 years strong, if y'all remember that on Twitter. I definitely am a gift person. I do want to admonish people a little bit. When I was trying out the platform a little bit, if the YouTube video is too big, it may not work. I tried it on multiple ones. It seemed like anything under, this is just me personally, it might just been just now, who knows. Anything under 5 minutes, it worked. Anything past that for me, it kept saying error. So there may be some things where you have to cut the video down a little bit, upload it as a private video, then try it out and see how it works there. But that was just my trial and error for a short time.
I will say I did run into the same issue actually as well. I tried taking a couple episodes of Social Chatter, and they were 45 minutes to 50 minutes. Those definitely were struggling a little bit as well. But again, $7.99 a month, and I like your point that you made there. Time is money. And, we like to do that with the show. Like, we like to make sure that we try to get you all the latest news, in a short amount of time, or as short amount of time as possible. I mean, $7.99, if you know that you're going to be creating a bunch of animated GIFs like this, for instance, if you struggle with creating content, this is a great way to repurpose some of that content to make, to quickly make something that also could go out in the public from the perspective of like, hey, maybe it's humor at your own expense. But here's the thing, there's nothing wrong with that, right? So having an animated GIF, that you have that might get published, for instance, on a network, like, that other people could then use, like, always good, very positive, definitely can be positive for your, for your business, a way to get things out there as well. And like I said, no ads, high quality media, you can edit the GIFs after they're finished, no watermarks, $7.99 a month. And you can also resize and compress them as well if you need to. But I'd say, give that tool a try. So that does it for Social Chatter episode 199. You guys have anything else you want to add for viewers?
Nothing this week other than you got to find Troy, right? If you're looking for a smart dude, you got to go to find Troy, right? Find him on every single stinking social network. Troy, what's your favorite, man? How do people find you even more, Mr. Sandage?
Really, you find Troy all one word on Google, and everything should pull up. Linktree/Find Troy, but everything's Find Troy. I'm on every platform. I may not be using every platform, but I own the rights to all of them as Find Troy for sure.
Yes, and by the way, that's a fantastic point. By the way, one last point I want to leave viewers, and that's that you don't have to be using every platform. As Troy mentioned, like, he's got a presence on them. He's not using them. What's your main platform, Troy?
Definitely Twitter. My secondary right now is definitely Instagram. I've doubled down on it for IG stories, IG live, things like that as well. And it was a challenge for me. The problem, I think, with businesses and us as marketers, sometimes we get complacent and we get comfortable because it's our home. We own the space. You may be verified even on that platform, and then no one knows you on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. You're just Twitter, and that's it. That's all I do. But again, these instances when Twitter went down, oh my God, you're irrelevant now. No one knows who you are. No one cares. Your vanity metrics don't mean jack to any other platform. No, it is really good to differ. It doesn't mean that you can't be strong in this and something else, but learn. The thing I love about social media is that you're adapting, it's always changing. Get other platforms and get really good at that. For me, hey, I don't have time to post all the time. I'm with these two amazing individuals doing live streams on Facebook. I barely use Facebook for business, but here I am live streaming about things that are important to me and communicating that I can now repurpose on YouTube, cutting it good for Instagram and things like that as well. So business is really good and important, not only to own your space, but to diversify your content.
Definitely. So, Phil, who do we have next week? By the way, we're hitting a big milestone, episode
Holy
200.
buckets, yeah, 200, baby. Next week, we have got the digital gal with us, Amanda Robinson.
Woo!
We're pretty darn excited about having Amanda on the show. She's the digital gal. You check her out at the digital gal on Instagram, everywhere else. We'll be on 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, because she's a Canadian. So we'll get to see her then, and that should be really exciting. I'm really glad to see her.
Fantastic. So I want to thank everyone for watching. We will be back next week, but that's a wrap for episode 199. And I'm just going to roll a little footage here for everyone, and we will check you all out next week. So thanks a lot for joining.